Today we're speaking with Akshay Mate, and we're going to discuss the aftermarket supply chain. So Akshay, can you? My first question is, what? Can you talk about what is the aftermarket supply chain?
Yeah. So Dustin, first of all, thanks a lot. Uh, now, uh, Aftermarket supply chain is also known as the after sales supply chain. So mainly it starts from the time product leaves the shelf to satisfy the customer demand. Aftermarket supply chain also covers the scenario where customers come back to service centers either to repair or return the defective products, and most of the time such services are bound by contracts such as 4 hour service or next business day service, depending upon the critical of the business and the contract which the customers will have with the company. So we can say this is a synonymous with the reverse logistics. And typically service organization networks have different forward stocking locations backed by central distribution centers. So after sales support, actually it is a difficult to manage, and the companies that provide the services effectively so can generate a very good revenue out of it. So there are some challenges related to the aftermarket supply chain. Some of these are unlike traditional supply chain service. Supply chain service executives need to deploy parts, peoples, and equipments at different locations in service network. So, which is a really challenging task as sales networks need to deal with unexpected demand, which may arise due to unpredicted breakdowns of the product. And after sales network need to support all products of company, which includes new and already sold products. So each different generation of the product may have a different parts and different suppliers. So obviously, service networks need to deal with more number of stock keeping units from different generations. So that is really a complicated task.
And why do you feel that this is an important area to work within?
Yeah, this is really important area to work for all the companies. So this is because this is the age of the services, and to prosper, every company it should must transform itself in service business. So companies can sell products more aggressively if they are backed with a good aftermarket supply chain. In fact, well-managed aftermarket supply chain always provides a competitive advantage and helps organization to generate more revenue. Customers don't expect products to be a perfect, but they do expect manufacturers to fix things quickly when they break down, and this is possible by well-managed aftermarket supply chain. Each product sold by company need to be backed by good after-sales services. After-sales services and repairs can help organization, as I explained, to generate a revenue. So in one of the study, it was found that the services organization can generate 30% to more than 50% of the revenue by servicing the products. Forward supply chains are well backed by the technology nowadays, but we can say that this is not the case in case of aftermarket supply chain, as it is a more complex, difficult to manage, and unpredictable in nature. So I I think sooner or later, our organizations need to concentrate their efforts on improvement of aftermarket supply chain. Yeah.
What are the problems that you address, and how do you do this effectively?
Yeah. So main problem which we come across in aftermarket supply chain is a backlog. So backlog management is a huge task, as it is uh, the it is a result of inaccurate forecast. Accurate forecasting is the need of this area, as we discussed. That forecasting service spares is very difficult task, as in practical scenario unexpected breakdown will happen, and it is a part and parcel of aftermarket supply chain. To address this, the companies need to collect and store data depending upon the feedback of the product. Here, feedback of the product means companies need to find the way by which they can talk with their product, like in the case of talking inventory. In current scenario, we can say that big data and sensors can help us to do that. Sensors can help to check health of the product depending upon the feedback from the sensors. planner can forecast more accurately because they will have a real-time data. In fact, in some cases, planner can predict the breakdowns and can make arrangement to make available the required spare parts for the repairing. So currently, I think IoT, that is Internet of Things, will help in this area. In this case, although it is a nascent technology, but big data and IoT collectively both can help planners in this regard. The second point is that last time buy is also a challenging task in case of aftermarket supply chain, as forecasting techniques plays a very critical role to predict last time quantity, that is the one time buy quantity. So recent trend is to use the profile based forecasting technique to predict this. So profiles, what I meant to say is the profiles which are used in the forecasting techniques. These are developed for each part depending upon the historical behavior of the part. And this is a more effective way to forecast instead of shipment based leading indicator method. Third problem is that the part chain alignment is the problem. So part chain alignment is a major challenge as services organizations struggle to maintain uniform part chain across the different geographies. So uniform part chains will enable organizations to implement single loader procurement strategy so that they can buy from the one location. Considering the global demand. So these are the main problems which we need to do it, which we need to address in aftermarket supply chain.
And thanks Akshay. And can you provide a brief background of yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I have been working in the field of supply chain for almost 8+ years now. I started my career as a production engineer. So fortunately, working on the shop floor is in initial stages of my career helps me a lot to understand and learn the material flow and art of people management. Further, I worked as a ERP consultant for Oracle applications. From last 5 years, I'm working as a supply chain consultant mainly for aftermarket supply chain. I worked with well-known manufacturing OEMs for ERP consulting and with high-tech companies for aftermarket supply chain management. So in terms of education, I have masters in business administrations in materials management and bachelor's in production engineering from University of Pune. Yeah.
And thank you for sharing today.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Dustin.